Hello guys, welcome to the second video of Python GUI development using Tkinter. In the previous video we had created the window and we had declared the variables for labels, but what we forgot was we need entry boxes for respective labels as well. So let's start off with declaring entry labels. Name it as entry1 and we just copy and paste them. Note that we don't need entry for all the labels. We only need for ones which we have declared it as 1, 2, 3, 4 because we'll be inputting our information in that. So let's do that. Entry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Same thing for the other sections as well. We'll rename them quickly. 2, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So the labels are ready. Entry boxes, okay, they are not ready, but we have declared the variables for them. So let's start with our actual syntax. Let's do a thing. We'll start off together. So I've created cursor for all the variables and simultaneously we'll be inputting the other text, that is syntax will be inserting together. Atom ID gives me this privilege of adding the text or writing the syntax just in one go. So let's do it. Let's say equals label opening parenthesis and we want to place it in tab 1. Note that we have windows and we are actually displaying everything on windows, but the thing is our tab has been overlaying on window, that is it has overtaken windows. The entire window screen has been taken over by tab. So if you insert all your widgets in windows, they won't be visible. Hence you need to place it in tab 1 so that end user or the user or you yourself can see what you have added in your GUI application. Because whatever you are inserting, it should be on tab, then only you'll be able to see that the widgets have been placed properly or not, or it has been made as per your wishes or some error has been made. So we have placed it in tab 1. Next comes text, that is what text you will be, like what information you want to display. So we'll do that later. And we add comma, and next one would be the font, that is what font you want your text to be in. So I'll be using Times New Roman. You can use whatever you like. Times New Roman, and we close the quotes, comma, and the size of the text, let's input a random number, that is 14, and we'll change the text for, that is size of the text for the ones which we want to change, that is title should be, of course it should be bigger than the normal text, so we'll do that later. And apart from the text size, you can also add underline or bold or italic formats. Just format it accordingly however you like. That is the labels or the sub labels which you want to like bold it or underline it or italicize it. You can do whatever you like. Well, maybe we'll do it in the coming videos or probably in this video itself, but let's just make it normal and not do that. So now we close this parenthesis, that is for the font, and now we'll be going with background. Note that since we have colored our tab and if we are using any widget, it will have normal background color as white. So if you insert it in the window, that is tab 1, everything will be fine, but your widget section, the background will be white, and it won't look good as your window background is orange and like whatever color you have given, and the widget background is white. It won't look good. So hence we need a background for this as well, that is same as your tab 1 background. So the syntax is simple: bg equals the color you want. Since I've used orange, I'll go with orange itself. And you don't need to change your foreground color, that is the text color, because if it is black, it's fine. It's fine until it's black. So yeah, we are done with the normal things. Note that if we run now, we get an error that entry is not defined. We need to define them as well. And anyways, if you run, you won't be able to see anything on your tab, that is window, because you haven't placed your labels. You need to place them as well. You have just declared and defined your labels. So let's define our entry boxes as well, and we'll change minute things in the label syntax. So let's do the same thing. That is creating cursor for each of the entries. Entry 7 has already been imported, as by mistake I added a cursor for that as well, and it was impossible to remove it at that time. I had to remove it and place cursor for each and every label again, so I just left it like that. We'll just change it in just a second. So entry syntax for that is entry with a capital E, opening parenthesis, placing it in tab 1, comma. You don't need a text keyword over there because that doesn't make sense, because text you are inputting like when the application is running, so you don't need to enter text over here. But what you can do is you can add font. That is, if you add font, you can, like, whatever text you are inputting on the entry widget, you can like select from here that it should be in what font, what size. That can be done from here, that you have the privilege to do. So let's do that, saying font equals opening parenthesis, and let's give it Times New Roman as well. My bad. This should be in quotes, and only the starting letter should be capital, that is Times New Roman. It is taking a while to get inputted, as I've created a lot of cursors. That is approximately 18 cursors, hence it is taking a time to get inputted. So we close the quotes and we give the size as 14, and we close the parenthesis, and we don't need a background color for it because it will be fine as white. Let's run and see. I'm sure we have an error, but before that we'll change few things. Like, we'll add some text for our title. Since it is an admission form, let's give admission form, and space. I don't want any text, I just want it to be a new line event, hence I will just create normal space. I give a little bit of space and leave it like that. It will act as a new line. There are few other ways, but this is fine actually. When I'm creating labels, and just create an empty label, and that will help me for the line. So for this one, PI, that is personal information. Okay, then this is space, so we'll leave some space. Let's see how many line of space I have left. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8 characters spacing. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. The text for them would be first name, misspelled it, and here as well. And this would be, let's just copy that and paste. Show V, last name, mother's name, father's name, local guardian's name, and date of birth. Okay, that's done. Let's name them as well. We need 8 character spacing. Let's keep it even in all the space labels. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll just copy paste them. Or that's fine. I'll just add the character spacing. So this one would be contact details, student's phone number. Copy this. And paste it over here. And let that be email ID. To be father's phone number, mother's phone number, okay. Local guardian's phone number, copy this, Control C, Control B, email ID. And note that we have one label missing, that is in place of label space 3 I added the text. That's not an issue. We'll just rename the label and make it as 12 and this one as label space 3. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8. We don't need font for this. Yeah. Well, I like ordering my stuff, hence we'll just remove the font from this space as well. We only need background color, we don't need font because there's no point giving font for an empty label, right? Okay, that's done. The last section of the labels. So remove the font for them. And that's done. Let's give the text for this one. This is admission details. Sorry, address details. Permanent address. With that we have given the text, and now we'll be placing them. That's we need the grading system. Grading system is basically just like your Excel. Just imagine rows and columns, and we'll be placing it according to that. That is rows zeros, column zeros, or whatever wherever we like to place them. So let's start with placing, and we'll go in order. That is label, and then we'll go with entries. And it will be very easy if I just copy paste them. Then typing them again and again. And let's do with entry as well. Control C and Control V. Here I need some space to orient my program a bit better and make it look good. So where same thing equals grid opening parenthesis row equals, we'll just leave that empty for now, comma column equals, and we leave that empty as well, and we close our parenthesis. And we can add our values to that where we are going to place our labels. We'll just copy and paste them. Let's just do the same thing how we have done for personal information section, because that will be much better than copying, pasting, and renaming them again. Control C, give some enter, and Control V, give some space here as well. And now what we can do is we can copy this and we create cursor for our labels, that is the placing labels, and we say Control V, and boom, we are done. The last section. Control C, space, and we copy this. We create cursor, and we paste them. Now we start giving values for our rows and columns. We'll fill up the rows first and then we'll go with columns. So label T, that is title, will be on 0th row. Our line space would be on first. Our label pipe would be on second. This one on third. And from here actual placing starts. So this one would be on fourth. This one fourth as well. And label 3 is our mother's name. And let's keep it on fifth. Or let's keep it on sixth actually. We'll place our date of birth on 5th, and that is 7, that is 8, and we'll place it on 5th. Note that we are yet to place gender check buttons. That probably will finish in this video or the next one if it gets long. So let's place our entry rows as well. This will be in same rows and columns. Okay, not columns, it will be in same rows as our labels. So going from 1, that is 4, 6, 7, 8, 5. Okay, that is not good. Since label 3 we are placing in 6th and label 4 is father's name, let's place this on 6th as well, and this one on 7th. That is local guardian's name on 7th. Sad owner, but we have separated local guardians, but no problem. And this one would be on 5th, and we'll place our gender section on 5th row as well. So starting our entry, that is first name would be on 4th, that is 4, 4. Well, actually doesn't matter, you can place it in order because entry boxes are entry boxes, it doesn't have any text also. 6, 6, 7, 5. Okay, we'll give the columns names as well. Title, let be on third. Label space, let it be on third as well. Label personal information on 0th column, and this space on third as well. And from here we have a pattern that is label, so 0, 2, 0, 2. This one would be on 0 and this one would be on 0 as well. Note that I have left one column and that will be for entry, because we need our entry boxes right after our labels. So let's do that. In this they have pattern as 1 3 1 3 1 and 3. We are done with our personal information section. We'll do the same things for our contact details. Going with the rows first. So space would be on 3. Oh, sorry, those are rows, right? So last one was 7. So this one would be on 8th. And label CD on 9th. Space 3, that will be on 10th. These all will be on, that is 12. Okay, what's 12 doing here? Okay, so 7th from 11, 11, 12, 14, and 13. They will be on respective rows and columns as well. That is 11, 12. Well, actually it doesn't matter, so but it does matter. 12, 12, 13, and 13. Let's place our columns as well. Since it is space, we place it on 3, this one on 0, this one on 3. And from here we have pattern again, that is 1 and 3 or 3 and 1. Vice versa, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's done. This one as well. Okay, label should be on 0 and 2. We'll correct it fast. So let that be 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, and 2. That section is done as well. The last row was 13. Let's go with 14 over here. 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 18, 19, sorry, 18, 19, and 19. Column being 3, 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, and 0. This one 17, 18, 19. them being 1, 1, and 1. 3, 3, 3. Okay, we are done with placing, and let's run our code and see if everything was placed in a proper order. We save it. I'm sure we'll have an error, and yes, we do. Name grid is not defined. Well, guys, of course, we don't require equals to, we need entry dot grid. So we need to change that. Let's do it with a shortcut, that is Control F. We'll find and replace. Let's find all. The first one, we don't want that. This is fine as well. We need only for grids. So let's take it fast, 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 fast. Okay, and that we do need to change. So replace, next, next, replace, next, next, replace, next, next, replace, next, next, replace. For them, let's just uh, change it normally. But since we are on the last section doing this, it will be easier than doing next, next, and replace, next, next, and replace. And that was a big bother. I had to do it very fast. And with that, we are done with our dots. Yeah, well, see, we are done with that. And well, it is fine. What we wanted is there, but it is not actually how it should look like. It should be more of like, it should be big. It should look appealing. So if you want to change it however you like, you can do that. Well, as for me, I wanted to make a simple admission form to just give you an idea that how to do it. So I'll just leave it on that, and you can change it or you can style it however you like. So after doing all this, what we require is a button so that we can go to the next page. So let's create a button now. For that, we say any variable equals capital B, and basically button with a capital B, and we want to place it in tab 1, and okay, we want text, right? Text equals submit, and we just copy the fonts from above. I guess we don't require font in this. We'll just see if it is there or not. Let's place it in the tab. Button dot grid, and row being 20, and column being 2. And as for the fact, we'll change column for our title as well because it looks very odd, and we'll change our screen size as well. So I guess 720 into 640 would be sufficient. We'll just see in a while, and we'll place our admission form label in column 2, and our label spaces as well. Actually could have just left it how it was, but since we are reducing our geometry, that might create a problem as it might not look good. Let's run and see. It says missing one argument, line number 128. What have I missed? Row equals 20 and Yes, we have control P. Okay, well, button is there, but the size is not good, and we don't need a background color for that. So remove this, and we'll change our width to let's say 800, and see if it is taking all our widgets in one window or not. Okay, 800 is not sufficient. Let's go with 900. Yeah, that is fine. And being a revision form in the middle, that also looks good. Now what else you guys could have done is that you can place underlines below this title as well as the subtitles, and if you want this to be on a whole screen, that is complete full screen, then you can increase the size of your labels. Let me just increase the size for sub labels as well as, that is, subtitles as well as the capital, the main title, and let them be as 18, and others are 14 and they're fine. For subtitle, we'll keep it as 16. So this one will keep it as 18, and label pi, this one 16, others let it be as 14. Then this one contact details, this one as 16 as well. And what else you could have done? What we can do actually is that we can change the font, that is, yeah, the font for the subtitles and titles so that it looks different and we get a much appealing look. We might actually do that in coming videos. This one has already gotten long, hence we won't do much in this. Yeah, this one actually looks good, and we have a button over here, but as you can notice, on clicking nothing is happening. So what we want is that when we click the button, this window is disappeared or it goes off, and we get another page where we are entering our qualification details. So entering and everything we'll do later. For now, let's just create a command that will close this window and open a new tab. We'll just do that and we'll be done with this section. So for that, we need to add a keyword over here saying command, which will help you connect it to the function which we are going to define right now. So saying command equals the name of the function which you'll be giving. So let's say sub1. Yeah, I think that should be fine. So now let's define a function saying def. We need to define a function before, because if we do it like below the button, then when you run your code, you will get an error saying that sub1 is not defined, because like it is an interpreter, it interprets your code, so it will go line by line and it will see sub1, but it won't have any, like it won't be declared above or it won't have any instances above, so it will say that it is not defined. It won't even go like after the button line, it won't see that definition of sub1 has been defined later. Hence you need to define it above the syntax of button. Only then it will recognize that it has a function named as sub1 and it will execute the code. And so let's do this over here, defining sub1. And what we need to do is that we need to destroy a tab. So for that we have syntax called tab1 dot destroy. I hope I'm okay. I hope I have done it right. We'll look into that later, but next step is that creating the new tab. So we'll just copy the code from here and we'll place it below. And we'll rename our tab1 as tab2. Let's see if we are able to successfully compile it or not. Okay, we have an error. It says we have no attribute as destroy. I guess destroy would be spelled as E. Let's try now. Yes. So what happened is our tab 1 got destroyed and we got a new tab. And we'll rename this tab as qualification or qual, as in short form for qualification. So yes, we have a qual tab over here which has replaced our add tab, that is admission tab. Actually what has happened, it has been destroyed, but as you would be wondering that what's the point of destroying it, whatever details we have added, it is not even saved, and if we just destroy it, or whatever we did, it's just waste, nothing has happened. So don't worry, the the last video what we'll be making is, that's what we are going to do, is that we'll be connecting our pages to a table in MySQL Workbench. So whenever we click on submit, it does get destroyed, but its information or whatever you have provided is getting saved in a database. That we'll do in the last section of the video, that is last video, and we'll see that everything what we have done is not going to go in waste, in vain. So guys, I hope you liked the video, though it was long, but it had very little to grasp. That it had label, it had entry, and the syntaxes for font, text, and it is very easy to learn. It is very simple, and how we are placing it, we are using grid system, and yeah, that's it. Nothing else. We have just copied and pasted our code in all the section, that is personal information section, contact details section, and address details section. We have just copied pasted our code. It is the same thing what is in the first section. So if you just know the syntax for label and the logic that what you are going to do, you have a rough sketch in your mind, then it's very easy. So guys, I hope you liked it. Stay tuned for the next one. We'll just create a qualification page in the next video. So guys, thank you, and let's see you in the next one.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me.